3 points.
Welcome to WZIP Postgame Podcast. We are coming to you from the 2014 MAC Tournament at the Q here in Cleveland. I'm Terry Rabbits, Ben Jeanette. The 4th-seeded Akron Zips used a 16-3 run to stage a comeback victory late in the game over 5th-seeded Ohio Bobcats, 83-77. Ben, your thoughts on the individual efforts of the Zips tonight?
This was a team effort. At the beginning of the game, in our pregame, I stated that we need to get big games out of Quincy Diggs and Demetrius Treadwell. Guess what? That's exactly what happened. Each of them had monster games. Diggs led the team in scoring with 20 points. Treadwell, 19. Also grabbed 11 rebounds, was a beast in the glass and down low. When those two play games like that, this team they're very, very hard to beat. No matter what the other team does, those two need to score and grab rebounds. Coming from the other side, off the bench, great bench effort tonight. Reggie McAdams, 10 points off the bench. He shot 100% from the field. 4 for 4 shooting, also 2 for 2 from three-point land.
Nice.
Pat Forsyth, 9 points, grabbing 5 rebounds.
How about on the Ohio side of the ball?
Nick Kellogg had an outstanding game today. He had 25 points. One of the keys to the game for me was for Akron to win this game, they had to slow him down. They didn't really do that. What they did was they let Nick Kellogg have his game, but stop everybody else. Remember at the beginning of the game, one of the matches to watch was Demetrius Treadwell versus John Smith. John Smith had 4 points today. 4 points up against Demetrius Treadwell's 19. Not to mention, their bench only scored 24 points. Akron's bench, 33 points.
That prize is coming up in the second half, and it's a good one.
My keys to the game here that I was talking about, we talked at halftime. Akron was actually shooting 60% at halftime, 50% from three-point range. They had held Ohio to 50%, 40% from three-point range. Turnovers, 7 to 6. Akron had given it up one more time. So you would kind of think that Akron would be ahead in the game, maybe tied, but Akron was actually down most of the first half by 10 points. It turned out they were down 5 at the half. Luckily for them, the second half, they turned those stats around. Akron only turned the ball over twice in the second half. Meanwhile, they forced 7 turnovers from Ohio. The offensive rebounds, it was 8-1 Ohio in the first half. They had 10 second chance points. And some of those, it was a killer because Ohio had cut the lead. Akron would cut into the lead and have all the momentum going, and there would be a possession where they would give up 2 big offensive rebounds. And then Ohio would end up hitting a 3 or hitting a bucket, some free throws, and stretch that lead out again. But in the second half, Treadwell and the gang come up with 7 offensive rebounds, and it was key because it helped them get back into the game and at the end, win the game.
Yeah, what was different from this game to the last time they played the Bobcats is the field goal percentage. They shot 60% today, didn't they?
60.9 for the game.
Last time against the Bobcats, what, 20%?
28% or something.
They spread the ball out.
The Zips were 7 of 12 from three-point land. 7 of 12. That's going to win you a lot of games.
They did really well going inside and outside with the basketball as well. They were able to space the floor a lot.
There was, I'm sad to say, there's stats that we were getting through the MAC site actually had something called a possession, seconds per possession. At one point when I was looking at it, Akron was actually holding the ball 21 seconds per possession and then scoring. And that was up from 16 seconds in the first half. And that means you're hanging on to the ball, you're moving the ball, and you're scoring, which is kind of impressive to me.
But you look at the stats. It was an offensive game on both sides. You know, Nick Kellogg, when Nick Kellogg scores 25, Ohio's not going to lose a lot of games.
Correct.
This was an offensive type game. You look at the stats and you think maybe Akron got lucky. You know, they pull off these second half miracles. You know, during the press conference, Keith Dambrot, the coach of the University of Akron, said that they won this game because it was a miracle in the second half.
For the Bulls.
You look at it, I don't think it was too much of a miracle to see how they won this game. They shot horrific from the free throw line,
yes.
But they made 20 free throws.
Compared to 9, I believe it was, for Ohio.
There's your game, in my opinion, right there.
Right.
20 free throws to the 9 made. Yeah, you shot 58%, I think they shot from the free throw line. 20 free throws. That's 20 points that OU gave them. That's sloppy basketball.
Yep. I agree. What in your mind was the key to the game? What moment do you think was pivotal for the Zips?
One of the moments that I think was pivotal was when Ketzer came in.
Okay.
I talked about how he's able to spread the floor. We saw the stats from the first game this year when they played him when he was in to now. He didn't play a lot today, but his presence there, I thought, was able to spread the floor. In the press conference, Keith Dambrot said that you have to guard him. So that's another shooter that they didn't have, that they now have back, and they're going to keep adding him and adding him. Maybe he's the missing link to this team's effectiveness on offense.
Actually, we had talked in the pregame on how he had missed a couple of games because of concussion. I have a little note down here on my notes. He actually entered the game, which we didn't know if he was going to or not. He entered the game at 16:37 of the first half. Exactly 1 minute later, he took his first shot and canned a three. So I can see where you come up with that. For me, the key of the game was Betancourt. With the score tied at 67, just under 4 minutes to go in the game, he had 2 key steals within 37 seconds of each other. The first one, he dished it to Tree, who ended up splitting a pair of free throws to give us the lead. And the next one, he gave to Diggs, who did a old-fashioned three-point play.
Yeah.
No,
I agree with you. He had a great game. You know, Betancourt has his problems on offense every now and then. He never gives up on anything. He's a bulldog type player.
And I don't have in front of me how many points he had. But again, he was another one tonight that shot either 3 of 3 or 4 of 4 from the field. I think he was 3 of 3 for 6 points.
I think you're right.
That's key coming off the bench, and to have defense like he did.
I think the play of the game. We're sitting here, and we're watching the game, and you said, what will end this game is a big dunk by the big tree, Demetrius Treadwell. No sooner after you said that, steal, I believe it was Quincy Diggs that had the ball. Quincy Diggs has the ball. Fast break opportunity. Passes the ball to Treadwell. Boom. Big dunk. And that's all she wrote, I think. I think they never got the lead back, OU.
Exactly. This place was rocking after that dunk.
The Rowdies were going crazy here in the queue.
It was something that we had not seen all game from Tree, and this team feeds off of that.
Yeah.
And they needed that, and that's why I kind of said that. I said, you know, the game was still in the balance there. There was still a couple minutes to go in the game, and that just put the nail in the coffin, I feel.
I think a game like this definitely favored the Zips because OU, I think, has played, 5 games in 6 days? Fatigue. And I think you could see that, especially from someone like John Smith with only 4 points, going up against someone like Treadwell, who, basically bullied him the entire night, 19 and 11.
Right.
And Nick Kellogg was basically trying to do this on his own. No matter how good you are, you need complement players. And the Zips, with Diggs and Treadwell, they got their complement players off the bench. That did not happen for OU.
Exactly. Like you said earlier, 33 points off the bench. They scored 83, so that's a good amount of your points coming off the bench. If you can have your starters scoring 50 points a game, and your bench scoring 30, 33, 83 points in college basketball should win you a majority of your games.
Oh, most definitely.
So, all right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here from the Q. Akron does advance. They will take on the top-seeded Western Michigan. And like you said, I think if they want to have a chance to win that game, one of the keys is they have to start shooting better from the free throw line. 20 of 34 is not going to cut it.
No, it's not. I mean, it's nice that you went to the line as much as you did, and it's nice that you were able to pick up 20 points off going to the line. Problem is, teams aren't going to send you that, but you need to hit these. You need to get, 70, 80%, 58%. That's you're usually on the losing side of games when you shoot that poorly from the free throw line. And I think they also, as you and I both noted out earlier, they need to end the second chance opportunities for other teams. OU in the first half was taking advantage all day of second half opportunities. Not just one chance, not just two chances, multiple chances. 3 chances on some plays.
It killed the momentum numerous times in the first half. From the Zips being down 10, they chip away, they get it to 3, 4 points, and have that possession where you need to stop, and they give up 2 offensive rebounds.
And I'm sorry, you got guys like Demetrius Treadwell, and you got guys like Pat Forsyth who are big guys. There's no excuse for that to happen. Grab the defensive rebounds.
All right, well, Ben, it's been a great day here. Lots of basketball we've been able to watch. Again, tomorrow, Zips, Western Michigan. Go Zips.
Go Zips.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Good night.